Hi, welcome back. This is Math, Chapter 4, Lesson 6. Divide whole numbers by fractions. We start with a review of Lesson 5. Press your pause key. We're going to practice these three problem-solving activities. Show all your work in your math notebook. Save your questions for the group. Press pause as you work. Press play when you're ready to go forward. Check your answers here. Essential question: what does it mean to multiply and divide fractions? What will we learn today? To find the reciprocal of a number. To divide by a fraction. Vocabulary: reciprocals. Find the reciprocal of 2/3. Since 2/3 times 3/2 equals 1, the reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. Notice that 2/3, the reciprocal is 3/2. So sometimes in multiplying fractions or dividing fractions, we call this flipping it, flipping the fraction. Just know that when you switch the numerator and the denominator, you are finding the reciprocal. Also, if you multiply a fraction times its reciprocal, 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 2 is 6, 6/6 equals 1. Okay, here's another example. Find the reciprocal of 3/8. Pause the video, write the answer to this question in your math notebook. Press play when you're ready to continue. Number 2, find the reciprocal of 1/8. Since 1/8 times 8/1 equals 8, the reciprocal of 1/8 is 8/1, or 8. Here's another example. Find the reciprocal of 1/4. Pause while you show your work. Do it in the notebook. Press play when you're ready to go on. Number 3, find the reciprocal of 5. Well, how do we write 5 as a fraction? Write the whole number as a fraction. 5 equals 5/1. Find the missing factor. 5/1 times what equals 1? 5/1 times its reciprocal, 1/5, equals 1. 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 5 is 5. 5/5 equals 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. The reciprocal of 5 is 1/5. Here's another example. Find the reciprocal of 7. Pause, show your work in your notebook, press play when you're ready to go on. Key concept: divide by a fraction. To divide a whole number by a fraction, multiply by its reciprocal. 5 divided by 2/3 equals 5/1 times 3/2. They kept the first one the same. They changed the operation from division to multiplication, and then they switched the fraction to its reciprocal. Find 2 divided by 1/3. Write it in simplest form. Method 1, use a model. We have 2 blocks. We divide each block into thirds. Model the dividend, 2, the divisor, 3. Think, how many thirds are in 2? So if I take 2 and I divide it by 3, divide it by 1/3, this is how many times 1/3 goes into 2. Count the total number of sections. There are 6 sections. Method 2, use an equation. 2 divided by 1/3 equals 2/1 times 3/1. Multiply by the reciprocal of 1/3. The reciprocal of 1/3 is 3/1. Notice we're not dividing the fraction. Now we're multiplying. The answer, 2 times 3 is 6, 1 times 1 is 1, 6/1 simplifies to 6. So you don't multiply fractions at all. You I'm sorry, you don't divide fractions at all. You multiply by the reciprocal. My class will learn to sing, because you never divide a fraction, you multiply by its reciprocal. You never divide a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal. Here's another problem. Find 5 divided by 1/2. Write it in the simplest form. So remember that we never really divide by a fraction. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Show all your work in your math notebook. Pause the video while you do your work. Press play when you're ready to go on. Number 5, find 7 divided by 2/3. Write your answer in simplest form. 7 divided by 2/3, write the whole number as a fraction. 7 is 7 divided by 1. Multiply by the reciprocal. So we're dividing, but now we're multiplying. So you never divide a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal. So instead of 2/3, we're going to put 3/2. Notice that we kept the first number the same. We changed the operation from divide to multiply, and we changed this number to its reciprocal. So you never divide a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal. Then we multiply the numerator times the numerator, the denominator times the denominator, and we simplify. 7 times 3 is 21. 1 times 2 is 2. 21/2 is an improper fraction. We've got to simplify that. 21 divided by 2. 2 goes into 21 10 times. 10 times 2 is 20. 21 subtract 20 is 1. 10 1/2. Here's another example. Find 8 divided by 3/5. Write your answer in simplest form. Pause the video, show all of the work in your math notebook, press play when you're ready to go on. Number 5, at summer camp, the duration of a field hockey game is 3/4 of an hour. The camp counselors have set aside 6 hours for field hockey games. How many games can be played? We read it one time to get the gist. I'm going to read it again to see what numbers they're comparing. At summer camp, the duration of a field hockey game is 3/4 hour. So one game is 3/4 of an hour. They've put away 6 hours to play. How many games will fit into 6? How many times will 3/4 go into 6, or what is 6 divided by 3/4? Divide 6 by 3/4. We've got 6 blocks here. They divided this block into fourths, so we're going to see how many 3/4 can we pull out of 6. 6 divided by 3/4 equals 6/1. They kept the first factor the same. They changed the operation from division to multiplication, and they found the reciprocal. So you never divide a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal. 6/1 times 4/3. Do you see anything we can simplify before we multiply? Yes, 3 and 6 have a common factor of 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. To simplify it, 8/1 is the whole number 8. Remember to always leave your answers in simplified form. So 8 games can be played in the amount of time they gave them. Here's another example. A relay race is 4 miles long. If each runner in the race runs 2/3 of a mile, how many runners are in the race? Use the skills we've been practicing. Use a bar diagram, cut it into thirds, count out 2/3. See how many times you can pull 2/3 out of 4. Pause the video, show all of the work in your math notebook, press play when you're ready to go on. How did what you learned today help you answer the essential question? What does it mean to multiply and divide fractions? The sample answer could be to divide sets into fractional parts. Here's your ticket out the door. Find 12 divided by 9/10. Pause the video, show your work in your math notebook. Don't forget, keep it, change it, flip it. You never divide a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal. That's all for now.